Today I am going to make a video on folding of the embryo. So this is the blastocyst. This is the amniotic cavity, and this is the secondary walk sac. This is the extraembryonic xylem. Extraembryonic xylem. The boundary of this extraembryonic xylem, externally this is the somatopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm. Then this internal or inner boundary of this extraembryonic xylem is the splanchopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm. Then this is the derivatives of the trophoblast. So this externally this is a syncytiotropoblast, internally this is a cytotrophoblast. This is the tertiary chorionic villi. In this tertiary chorionic villi, so this one is the extraembryonic extension of this extraembryonic mesoderm containing the fetal blood vessels. Then outside this extraembryonic mesoderm there will be the cytotrophoblast. Outside the cytotrophoblast there will be the syncytiotropoblast, and this is the intervillar space containing the maternal blood vessels and maternal blood. So this is the blastocyst. This is the connecting stalk, and this is the amniotic cavity, and below this is the secondary walk sac. So this is the trilaminar jamdix. So we will discuss it in another model. Now this is the amniotic cavity, and this is the secondary walk sac. Amniotic cavity, and this is the secondary walk sac. This is the trilaminar jamdix. Ectoderm, oropharyngeal membrane, cloacal membrane, endoderm. This is the neural tube. Below this neural tube, this entire part is the intraembryonic mesoderm. Notochord. Then this is the paraxial mesoderm. The paraxial mesoderm will be segmented. That is called somite. These are the somites. And lateral to the somites, this is the intermediate mesoderm. Then lateral to this intermediate mesoderm, this is the lateral plate mesoderm. So this lateral plate mesoderm is continuous with the opposite half. Cranial to this oropharyngeal membrane. It is continuous with the opposite half. So it is horseshoe shaped. So this cavity is called intraembryonic xylem. The cavity in between the lateral plate mesoderm is the intraembryonic xylem. Now this intraembryonic xylem or the intraembryonic body cavity is dividing this lateral plate mesoderm into, this is the splanchopleuric and this is the somatopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. So now see, so this intraembryonic xylem or intraembryonic body cavity opens posterolaterally to the extraembryonic xylem. So this is the most critical part to understand reading a book. So here you see, this is the blastocyst. So this cavity is the extraembryonic xylem. So this is the opening. This is the opening of this intraembryonic xylem. I mean this intraembryonic xylem or intraembryonic body cavity opens to this extraembryonic cavity or extraembryonic xylem posterolaterally, bilaterally. This one and this one, this opens to the extraembryonic xylem. So this is the cross section. Cross section of this trilaminar jamdix, ectoderm, intraembryonic mesoderm, then endoderm. So please focus it. So this is the section. This is the cranial section and caudal section of the trilaminar jam disc. In this A diagram, you see this blue one is the ectoderm and this black one is the endoderm. In between this ectoderm and endoderm, this one is the notochord. This is notochord, and this is the intraembryonic xylem. This is called intraembryonic xylem or intraembryonic body cavity. So this intraembryonic body cavity is closed medially and laterally. So this is the medial boundary of this intraembryonic xylem. So with this medial boundary means this is the continuation of this somatopleuric and splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. So this is the lateral plate mesoderm. So this is the medial boundary. This is the medial boundary of this intraembryonic xylem. This is the intraembryonic xylem. So this is the cranial and this is the caudal. In the cranial side, although I am opening it, this intraembryonic xylem, but this part is closed. This is the lateral boundary and this is the medial boundary. So this medial and lateral boundaries are closed. I mean this lateral boundary and medial boundary is the continuation of this somatopleuric and splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. But posteriorly, this is the medial boundary. This is the continuation of the somatopleuric and splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. But posterolaterally, it is opening. This is the opening of the or continuation or connection of the intraembryonic xylem with the extraembryonic xylem or body cavity. So this is the diagram taken from this I.V. Singh Embryology 8th edition, and we will follow the other book, is a Langman 12th edition. So this is the lateral folding. This lateral folding, you see, intraembryonic xylem, but in the caudal side, this intraembryonic xylem is opening laterally. So as this boundary, lateral boundary of this intraembryonic xylem, it is a continuation of the somatopleuric and splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. So at the end of this lateral folding, the ectoderm, this outer end of this ectoderm will fuse with the opposite half of this ectoderm will form the body cavity. Body wall. This is the body wall. Then you see, this is the somatopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. So this somatopleuric and this is the continuation between the somatopleuric and splanchopleuric. So this continuation will fuse with the opposite half, forming the ventral mesogastrium. It will be the fusor peritoneum. Now you see, this is the endoderm. This endoderm will fuse with the opposite half of this endoderm, forming the gut. This is the gut. Okay. Now see, so medially, this is the continuation between the somatopleuric and the splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. So they will fuse with the opposite half to form the dorsal mesogastrium. So this is about the lateral folding in a cross section of this trilaminar jam disc cranially. So in the caudal half, you see, this is the intraembryonic xylem opening laterally. Okay. So at the end of the lateral folding, this blue one ectoderm will fuse. It will fuse with this opposite-sided blue ectoderm body wall, forming the body wall. Then this is the somatopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm will fuse with the opposite-sided somatopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm, forming the parietal peritoneum. It will form the parietal peritoneum. Then this one is the splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. This one is the splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. It will fuse with the opposite-sided splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm to form the visceral peritoneum. Then this one is the endoderm. So this endoderm will fuse with the opposite half endoderm. So this is the completion of this gut. So this is about the formation of the gut and the head of this intraembryonic xylem in a cross section. Now come to this is a longitudinal or craniocaudal folding. So this is called craniocaudal folding or cephalocaudal folding or head and tail folding. So this side is the head side and this is the tail side. So this is the sagittal section. It was the cross section. It is the cross section and it is the sagittal section. So this is the flat is the flat. This one is the flat Trilaminar jaundice. So when we cut anteroposteriorly in a sagittal plane, so this is the sagittal section. So here you see this is the procaudal plate Asperda ibising, but it is oropharyngeal membrane Asperda Langman. Asperda Langman, it is oropharyngeal membrane. This part, this is called oropharyngeal membrane cranially in the midline, and this is caudally cloacal membrane in the midline caudally. So this is the oropharyngeal membrane and this is the cloacal membrane. So in front of this oropharyngeal or procaudal plate, most anteriorly this is the septum transversum. So this septum transversum is the intraembryonic mesoderm, which is not separated by the intraembryonic xylem, and this part is the pericardial cavity. So this pericardial cavity is nothing but the midline part of this intraembryonic xylem, midline part. So this is the midline part of this intraembryonic xylem, pericardial cavity, and this pericardial cavity is separating this intraembryonic mesoderm into somatopleuric and splanchnopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. But this most cranial part, intraembryonic xylem is not separated by this intraembryonic xylem. Okay, so now there will be the folding. So this is called craniocaudal folding, and this is cranial side or head side, and this is the tail side. So due to the elongation, due to the lengthening or growth of this neural tube, this is the neural plate. So from this neural plate there will be the development of the neural tube. So this is the neural tube. This is neural tube. So this neural tube developed from this neuroectoderm, this midline part of this ectoderm in between the oropharyngeal membrane and cloacal membrane. So this is the neural plate. So from this neural plate there will be neural groove. Neural groove will give rise to this neural tube. So this is the neural tube. So as this neural tube is growing in size, length, breadth, okay, due to the growth of this neural tube, so there will be the lengthening of the length of the embryo. Due to this lengthening or growth of this neural tube, there will be craniocaudal or cephalocaudal or head-tail fold. Okay, so due to this head-tail fold, this oropharyngeal membrane or buccopharyngeal membrane, which was just behind the pericardial cavity, okay, now it will come most anteriorly. Then this pericardial cavity will come anterior to this embryo. Then this septum transversum, which was most cranially, it will come anteriorly. So it is called pinching or enclosing of the secondary walk sac. Okay, so this is the secondary walk sac. The secondary walk sac will be pinched anterolaterally or bilaterally. Okay, so here this is the third stage of this craniocaudal folding. This is the neural tube. This is the neural tube. Then this is the buccopharyngeal or oropharyngeal membrane. So this is the pericardial cavity, and this is the septum transversum, which will give rise to the diaphragm. It is coming anteriorly, pinching the secondary walk sac. So this is the diagram. These are the diagram in the Langman. So this is the cross section of this blastocyst, superiorly amniotic cavity, and this is the secondary walk sac. So you see this blue one is the ectoderm. So this ectoderm, this is the ectoderm. This ectoderm is the ectoderm. So in this ectoderm midline part, there will be the neural groove. Okay, this is the neural groove. From this neural groove, there will be the neural tube formation. This is the non-neural tube formation. Okay. Then below this neural tube, this is the notochord. This black is the notochord. This is the notochord. So you see just lateral to this neural tube. Just here you see lateral to this neural tube, or below this neural tube. This is the paraxial mesoderm. Focus it. This is the paraxial mesoderm. The paraxial mesoderm will be segmented to form the somites. So these are the somites lateral to this notochord. The notochord is the midline, from which there will be the development of nucleus pulposus. So these somites will give rise to three things: sclerotome, myotome, and dermatome. Okay. The sclerotome will fuse with the opposite half to form the vertebra. Then these somites, these are the somites. So these somites are growing in size. Okay. So due to its growth, the somites are growing in size. That's why there will be the lateral folding. The reason of the lateral folding is due to the growth of the somites. Then the growth of this craniocaudal folding, the reason of this craniocaudal folding here, please focus it. So this is the lateral view of the sagittal section of this trilaminar jamdix. So this is the growing neural tube. Okay. So this is craniocaudal folding. Due to this craniocaudal, the reason of this craniocaudal folding is due to the growth of the neural tube, I mean the brain and spinal cord. And the reason of this lateral folding is due to the growth of the somites. This is the lateral folding. So according to this Langman, here you see, this is the lateral folding. So at the end of the lateral folding, this will be the model. Okay. First of all, it was like that. It was flat. This trilaminar jamdix was flat. But due to this craniocaudal and lateral folding, so this is called craniocaudal folding. This one is the craniocaudal folding, and this is the lateral folding. This is lateral folding. Okay, lateral folding. So there will be the cross section through this embryo. So this is the cranial side, and this is the caudal side. This is cranial side, and this is caudal side. So here you see, in this cranial side, this is the pericardio-peritoneal canal. So this is the pericardio-peritoneal canal. This intraembryonic xylem, midline part is the pericardial cavity, and posterolaterally this is the intraembryonic xylem, which will fuse with the opposite half to form the peritoneal cavity. Okay. So in this diagram also, you see this intraembryonic xylem, this open intraembryonic xylem. At the end of the lateral folding, this will be the peritoneal cavity. This is the peritoneal cavity, and just cranially, this is the intraembryonic xylem which was not opening laterally. So this part will be the pericardio-peritoneal canal. So this pericardio-peritoneal canal is connecting cranially to the pericardial cavity and caudally to the peritoneal cavity. So this is called pericardio-peritoneal canal. At the end of the lateral folding, this is the right and left pericardio-peritoneal canal. So it is connecting posteriorly to the peritoneal cavity. So posteriorly, this is the lateral opening. This is the lateral opening of the intraembryonic xylem. Intraembryonic xylem is the caudal half, is the cranial half. So this pericardio-peritoneal canal is connecting. This is the pericardial cavity, and this is the oropharyngeal membrane. This oropharyngeal membrane will rupture in the 4th week of the intrauterine life, 4th week, and posteriorly there will be the cloacal membrane. So this cloacal membrane will rupture in the 7th week of intrauterine life. So now see, this is this secondary walk sac. This secondary walk sac is pinched or compressed. This is the compression of the secondary walk sac. It is also called pinching. You see, this secondary walk sac is pinched bilaterally. Okay. Now this part of the secondary walk sac, the upper part of the secondary walk sac will be enclosed within this embryo. So it will form the gut system. It will form the gut. So this part is called foregut. This part is called foregut. Up to this pacopharyngeal membrane. This part is called foregut, and this part will be the hindgut. This part will be the hindgut, and this midline portion, this midline part will be the mid cut. This mid part will be the mid cut, and you see this part will be compressed. This lower part of this enclosed secondary workseg will be compressed. So after compression, this part will be degenerated due to lack of blood supply. Due to lack of blood supply, this part will be degenerated and it will disappear. Okay, and finally there will be formation of this gut. There will be formation of gut. Okay, so we have to understand the three-dimensional relations or structures at the end of this lateral folding. So this much about the lateral folding. So here you focus it, please. So here we have to know this is the extraembryonic xylem, connecting stalk, amniotic cavity, secondary workseg. This is the somatopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm. Then this is called chorion. This is called chorion. Chorion means the extraembryonic somatopleuric extraembryonic mesoderm. Then this is the derivatives of the trophoblast. I mean the trophoblast is divided into internally cytotrophoblast and externally syncytiotropoblast. Okay, this is called chorion, and this is called amnion. Amnions means this is the amniotic cavity. This amniotic cavity is lined internally by this amnion. Okay, this is the amnion. Okay, so this is about the folding. So this is the blastocyst at the end of the craniocaudal and lateral folding. So this is the cross section. The cross section already we have discussed. So this is the sagittal section. This is the sagittal section. This one. So this is the secondary workseg. This is the secondary workseg, which is pinched anterolaterally and bilaterally. So this is the lower part of the secondary workseg. Then this is the upper part, which is enclosed or pinched. This one. Okay, this one. So it will be the foreguard. This is foreguard. It will foreguard entirely. It will be the buccopharyngeal membrane. And this is the pericardial cavity. Then there will be the septum transversum. Then this part is the foreguard. This part will be the midguard, and this is the hindguard. And this secondary workseg will be compressed. After compression, it will disappear. This part will be disappear. Then here you see this is the amniotic cavity. Here is the amniotic cavity, and this is the pericardio-peritoneal canal. This is the right pericardio-peritoneal canal, which is coming posteriorly. And this intraembryonic xylem is not opening laterally in the cranial half, in the cranial side, but it is opening laterally in the caudal side. So this is the connecting stalk or umbilical cord. So this is the sagittal section of this blastocyst after craniocaudal and lateral folding.